Hi Sagittarius, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your July 2021 tarot reading. Thanks to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always, and I also put an Oracle card and a Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. So let's do that. Okay, we have the 6th house. So for you guys, that's Taurus, and that's your house of health, work, daily routines. We have Uranus there, and we have Jupiter. So Jupiter is actually retrograding back into Aquarius in July. It's in the first couple of degrees of Pisces now. And we have Gemini, which is your opposite sign. So looks like there could be some focus around work, relationships, partnerships, and communication. But we'll keep those in mind as we go through the main spread. The main situation position, we have the Knight of Wands. So this is actually Sagittarius energy here, which is you guys. So could just be saying that you have a focus on yourselves this month. There could be a desire to move, get out and travel, right? Maybe you're feeling energized with Mars in Leo, which is your 9th house, and that's the house you guys are naturally rulers of. So could just feel that energy in that regard where you just want to get up and move. Maybe if you've had travel restrictions like most of the world has lately, maybe those are being lifted where you are, so you're just determined to get out and see the world a bit. That's what I'm seeing there. At the very least, it looks like you're feeling more in your element now. So maybe those eclipses might have taken you out for a bit, for example. Now you're just feeling like you're able to settle back into your energy. Alright, in the challenger obstacle position, we actually have the 6 of Cups. Now it's in reverse. So you can see this playing out a couple different ways, seeing this in a reverse position. One, it could just be saying that, you might just be determined to move on to something new while not tying up some loose ends from the past. For others of you, it could just be where you have this very bright, optimistic view of just coming back to someone with a reconciliation, but it might not go as planned. So, that might sound a little worse than how I'm actually seeing it. What I mean by that is, let's say you haven't spoken to someone in a really long time, right? Maybe there wasn't even necessarily a blatant falling out, but, you guys just kind of seem to, miss contact with each other. And then you just come back in like nothing happened, whereas this person might be taken aback by that a little bit. So looks like there's some potential for that. But yeah, like I said, could be that, or just karmically there's something that you need to wrap up from your past before you're able to move on to something new. All right, in the foundation position, we had a few cards come up. We have the 4 of Swords, which is Libra energy, the King of Wands, which is Leo energy, and the King of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy. So I do have to say, seeing this come up as like a healing energy, of course, with the King of Wands and King of Pentacles, this reminds me of the fact that we're going to have Mars actually squaring Uranus in Taurus. So it could just be as simple as that toward the very end of June. So maybe, something could have happened during that transit for you guys that you need to take a little bit of time to heal from. But more likely, I view this as, like I said, it looks like, maybe the eclipses might have been a bit rough on you guys, but now it looks like as we move into July, you guys are actually going to be ready to get up and out. So, could just be some things that you were recovering from. Could be related to work for some of you, and long distance travel too. But yeah, could just be saying that also, maybe you had a lot of plans that you were thinking about, getting your creativity flowing, and now you're actually going to be able to turn them into something tangible. So that could be what that Knight of Wands is pointing to as well. You've gone through the thinking phase, right? Planning phase, and now you're actually ready to take action. All right, in the past position, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which is Jupiter energy, 10 of Cups, which is Pisces energy, and the Fool. So, you know what? This makes me feel like that could be a situation here where this is around an actual reconciliation that you guys are planning for, but it might not go the way you hoped. The reason why I'm saying that is seeing this in the past position, it looks like, karmically, you might have just had a situation come toward you. It had that Ten of Cups potential, but it looks like you guys might have completely decided that you didn't want to partake in it. So, you know, now, like I said, I'm not necessarily picking up on the vibe that there was actual conflict around it, so it might have just been one of those things where you might have felt an instant connection with someone, but just decided to not pursue it at all. So, this person might just be taken aback if you all of a sudden come back around like, hey, let's do this, so that's what I'm kind of seeing there. All right, in the present position, we have the Devil. So this is Capricorn energy, which for you guys is your second house of finances. So of course that could be a focus for you guys. Maybe you've just been working really hard, and that might have even been the reason why you weren't necessarily able to put energy into a relationship in the past. But seeing this pop up here too, I feel like this is saying, again, what I was feeling with that Six of Cups in the reverse, which is to say that there's something that still needs to be completed, a karmic cycle that needs to be completed before you could fully move forward in the way you're hoping to. And it could just be saying that there's a draw with this person, right? Where maybe you did think that things were over between the two of you, and now all of a sudden you feel pulled back toward the connection. And usually when it is the case, there is some kind of karmic lessons that need to be learned, whether the connection's meant to last long term or not. There still is the potential to learn something from it. All right. In the near future position, we have the Four of Cups. So this is Cancer energy here. And I'm feeling like this is saying that this is another person. I'm almost seeing this as the relation to the Knight of Wands, which is to say, you might come forward to this person with the offer to try to reconcile things, and they might not quite be open to it just yet. And, keep in mind, the retrograde is still going as I'm recording this, but even in July, there's going to be the first week or so where it's still in shadow, and then finally to be clear of its shadow. So it could just be saying that, you might have to wait for the dust to settle a little bit as far as all the retrograde energy. The eclipse energies could sometimes last up to 6 months. So, it could just be one of those things where the timing might not be quite right to go all out with the situation just yet. All right. In the position of your influence on the situation, we have Justice. So this is Libra energy here. For some of you, this might have even been a falling out with a friend. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a romantic relationship or anything, but if nothing else, seeing this show up in your position, it shows me that you do actually have a genuine desire to balance the scales, to right any wrongs that might have taken place. And that seems to be a focus that you guys have. So it's definitely, a good thing to be, at least be going into the situation with good intentions. But that's what I'm seeing coming from you guys there. All right. In the environment position, we have the Star card. So I can see this playing out two different ways. If this is pointing to you guys, I feel like this is saying that this process you're going through, even if it doesn't tend to go off as planned initially, it looks like this is actually something that was destined for you guys to go through as far as your karmic growth. This is the card that comes after the Tower. So, usually it's that dissolution of ego, shows that you're on the right path. It's like a bit of a course correction. So if that's the case, regardless of the outcome with that situation, it looks like this was something that's actually going to be for your betterment overall. And then if this is another person, could just be saying that, they might be open to the reconciliation down the line, but I feel like they just might still feel a little bit raw and vulnerable, because if we see here, this person's completely naked, so to me, that could represent like that feeling a bit more vulnerable, a bit more exposed, right? And maybe just still processing it emotionally, because we do see the water energy, if we think of that as emotions, right? So they're still processing it. Whereas it looks like you're in a more logical, okay, let's make it happen type of energy, if we look at the contrast between the two energies. So might just say, if nothing else, you might need to give it a little more time. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Lovers. So this is Gemini energy, and that was one of the dice that came out for you guys. So yeah, for some of you, this could actually be you hoping to get this connection back on track. For most of the readings I've done this month, I haven't really got any of a romantic connection vibe at all, but here this primarily seems to be what it is for you guys. At the very least, like I said, a friendship at a minimum. But yeah, looks like that's what it's saying, that, and maybe you're even hoping for a little bit a little bit of karmic help there because we see the angel in the background, right? And I see that as things being worked out behind the scenes. So that's what I see there. And then in the outcome position, we have the Tower. So interesting, as far as I was saying that this is the star card that comes after the Tower. So it could just be as simple as that. You might have one attitude or mentality toward the situation with that Knight of Wands, like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to go back and things are going to be great. Whereas the other person might still be processing what took place. So you guys just might not be on the same page right now, which could, of course, cause that Tower moment. So we do see the progression. We see the 15 there, the 16, and then this is card 17. So whatever this is, it definitely looks like it could get a little bit messy, but I feel like once the dust settles, given that we do see the star card in the environment, it actually is going to be one of those things that you'll see was actually beneficial for all parties involved. I'm not necessarily getting the vibe that this would be, this person's completely shut off to the idea. If it is someone that you're trying to reconcile with, I just feel, again, more like, the timing just might not be right for them. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Emperor. So this is Aries energy here. And of course, Aries is ruled by Mars. So again, could just be pointing to that Mars transit through Leo, which for you guys is your 9th house, like I said. So you just might be moving at a different pace, a different speed than this person. You might even feel like it's an epiphany moment for you, with it moving through your 9th house, like, oh yeah, I have to make this happen. Whereas this person might just be, a little bit more still going through the processing of the whole situation. Especially if they're in Aquarius, for example, Mars would be in their opposite sign. So, they might eventually be open to reconciling, but could still be processing it right now. All right. And moving on to your Oracle card, we have TikTok. There's the artwork, and the number is 30. So yeah, at the very least, just seeing that image makes me think that, it could be a timing issue as well, as opposed to, it's not going to work out ever. But we'll see what the messages say. Okay, it says timelessness, divine timing, immeasurable time. The Oracle's message: when humans created time, everything changed and contracted. People have come to look at life in a linear way, imagining that the past is behind them and the future ahead of them. But what if that isn't true at all? What if everything, creativity, beauty, chaos, and order, were happening now in a glorious timelessness? You have all the time in the world to co-create the life you desire, so release your agenda. Let go of your need to shape each moment to your expectations, knowing that what is yours will never be withheld from you. Miracles are here right now and always show up when you need them, right on time. So an interesting message there. To me, what that kind of makes me think of is the fact that, you might actually have to, again, like I was saying, karmically, you might be led to say what you need to say regarding the situation, but you might have to detach from the outcome, say what you have to say, just kind of leave it be and give this person time to process it and see what happens from there. The relationship message says love, the fulfillment of desire, and even the body's reproductive cycles have their own timetable. Some things are preordained and cannot be coerced. Everything has its season, its divine and appropriate timing, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. Remember that you always have enough time for love, to find it, to nurture it, to give and receive it. Its clock is eternal and ticks according to the beating of your heart in perfect rhythm. Isn't that wonderful to know? Love is always right on time. So I will say there, another way I would look at that message as well, obviously, beyond what we were already talking about with the relationship dynamic, is to say, if you guys might be hard on yourselves for not being ready in the past, I feel like this is saying, hey, it could just be, especially with the Wheel of Fortune there, a lot of major arcana here, could just be saying that karmically the timing wasn't right between the two of you anyway, so it might look like you might be taking the brunt of the blame for this right now, but I feel like eventually that's going to be realized. All right, the prosperity message says your prosperity is co-created by your endeavors as they occur in human-made time and the eternal efforts of your most important manifestation partner, spirit, and a divine measureless time. So keep doing what you're doing. Stay positive and make a commitment to remain in high vibration thoughts and feelings. If you heed the message of this card, it will seem as if you will align with your highest calling and your highest good in no time at all, like magic. So what's all the fuss about not having enough time? The prosperous life that is yours will never pass you by. So interesting message there as well, because again, it makes me think of that Knight of Wands energy, which, like I said, is definitely very much a get up and go type energy. And maybe with the Devil, you might feel like things are dragging a bit. But with the Justice and the Star, I feel like it's saying, it might take a little longer than you're hoping for, but it looks like you guys are on the right path. So hopefully that resonated with you. And lastly, we have Mudra for you guys. So the Mudra you guys got this month is the Hamsi Mudra. There it is there. The keyword for it is illumination. All right. And there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. But under benefits, it says removes obstacles in one's life, eases depression and sadness, evokes feelings of lightness and laughter, benefits the lungs and the large intestine, improves assimilation of nutrients and elimination of waste. So if that sounds like something that you think would be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name and Mudra in the description video as always. We'll wrap up there and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.